All right, we're actually now live. Uh, Please bear with me right now as we go. We're going to try our best to do the show tonight. Right now, at this time, I'm a solo act right now. Fred is MIA. He's out in the woods. As far as I know, he's been out in the woods hunting. So he's probably had a late night. I don't know. He's probably has not made it in or back home yet. So I'm going to keep this simple. I actually haven't really tried to do this in a while on my own, so it's not a big deal. I used to do a lot of little solo videos, solo podcasts. I'm just gonna basically go over a few things and just discuss about this past weekend and some of the things we experienced, some of the things we found, and try our best to talk about them. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask. Uh, if you want to comment or ask questions on the live chat, feel free to do so. I will check that periodically. And if you're unable to do so, you're most likely not a subscriber. So if you want to see the live chat and actually throw a comment or ask a question, subscribe to my channel. It's right there while you're viewing. Yeah, stay up to date on all the latest. Let's see. Well, bear with me. Right now, I'm not really seeing any viewers at the moment, so I'm going to go ahead and make another quick announcement on Facebook. Stay with me, and let's get this party started here. Oh, there we got one viewer popped up. Excuse me. I'm going to make an announcement right now to build up the viewers. Please, since I'm a solo act right now and Fred Candy's not on board, I'm going to go over just a few things here shortly, and if you guys want to ask questions about anything, feel free. Like I said, ask questions on the live chat. I'll try to keep eye on Facebook as well. So just if you're viewing right now, just please bear with me. All right, give me a second. All right, like I said, new viewers jumping in, bear with me. I'm a solo act. I don't know where Fred is. So, it's I understand if he's unable to. Sometimes I'm not always able to either. All right, hold on. Wow, we might have our first comment. Hold on, I'm checking the chat here. All right. All right. I think the viewers, we got everybody jumping on now. Yeah. All right. Like I said, just bear with me. I'm making a few last minute announcements here for letting everybody know that we're live. Kind of reminding people. Sometimes I try to share it at least an hour in advance or more, and then sometimes people forget, so I have to give constant reminders. That's how it goes. I'm actually waiting until the viewers build up, because again, if you forgot something, or I mean, if you missed something, if you didn't get to see, or you want to listen to the beginning, you could actually start this over. But if you stay with me right now while I'm talking, you can stay up to what I'm talking about now. Again, viewers, questions are welcome. Questions for anything. This is also open discussion. Like I said, live chat. The live chat room is right underneath where you're viewing this, so that's where you could ask questions, make comments, and like I said, it'll actually help me go into a discussion or explaining things. Like I said, right now I'm a solo act. And again, Fred Canny is MIA. Yeah, and he's normally on here with me. Who knows? I sent him the join in link, so who knows? He might surprise me. But tonight, I'm just basically going to get into some talk about basic evidence, some of the evidence that I've actually experienced or found over the weekend. Me and Fred Canny, we've actually gone out Friday. We were out since Friday, spent all day Saturday, and then we were gone by Sunday, Sunday evening. Did a little bit of exploring around on Saturday, and I found a few interesting things. Saturday evening, it was just me and my daughter. We were just kind of sitting sitting around, hanging around, keeping things simple. I went and checked on a few areas and locations, and found a few tracks. A lot of just I was also scouting around for areas to possibly do some future hunting, so as well while I was out there. Meanwhile, like I said, we went back to camp. We had ourselves something to eat. But as the night came on, we had a nice fire going. We were hanging around the fire, and you know, it was a good quiet night. It wasn't quite a full moon. It's probably a good quarter moon or so, and slightly cloudy. But the night did get interesting. We had coyotes starting to sound off on a few occasions. Well, actually, two different occasions. Probably, uh, I don't know, give or take, I don't know, probably about 10 minutes apart. Uh, anyway, hold on. Okay, excuse me for the interruption. um, Fred's brother Jeff just messaged me. He just called Fred. He's going to be jumping on very shortly, so that'd be great. Well, I'm going to try to continue with some of this, and I'll probably do jump back and um, kind of rewind on some of what I'm talking about. But the night got interesting. I'm going to say probably after around 9 o'clock, probably around 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. That's where we started hearing movement. Be honest with you, my daughter actually got my attention. I don't know. I was in kind of la la land or something, kind of relaxed and zoned in, focused on the fire and everything. But she stopped me and pointed in one direction, like directly right behind our camp, and she said, "Stop, Daddy! Did you hear that?" I was like, "What you hear?" She said, "There's something back there." So I started kind of giving it some attention, and sure enough, there was something there. Um, I mean, I was listening. At first, I heard some scuffling, uh, like the common sound of a squirrel in the dry leaves. I'm not saying a squirrel wouldn't play around at nighttime like that, but the sound of the thumps and the crashes and the kicking of the leaves got heavier. It was definitely heavier than a squirrel. So okay, I said possibly coyotes in there, because the coyotes be coming into this camp. Because when the coyotes were sounding off, there was one solo one that was actually not far away at all. So I started questioning. I was thinking coyotes, but then that theory changed real quick when I heard a loud crash or something got dropped on the ground. Um, it What I heard was nothing a coyote could do. Possibly something crashed, like a tree being pushed or snapped. So before I continue on, I want to welcome aboard Fred Canny. How you doing, Fred? Uh-oh, you're muted, Fred. I can't hear you, Fred. Hold on. Before I continue on. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if Fred has audio today. All right. Fred, you got. I don't know if you got audio or not. I hear a little something right there, like the audio is trying to push through. Is your volume up? Okay, well, I heard something there. All right. Well, meanwhile, while Fred's trying to work his audio out, like where I was getting at with this whole situation, after hearing what I was hearing, I kept hearing thumps, stomps, like some heavy stomping, and like, and then the stomping turned into running, like from one section of the camp directly behind us over to our far left. Now, what actually got a lot more interesting was I I thought it sounds crazy, but there was no other campers around at that moment, and with my daughter sitting right next to me, and knowing where I'm right here, there was no one else around because it was quiet besides the sound of the fire sparking. Um, it it almost sounded like there was possible, I don't know, chatter or grunting or something going on. My daughter actually stated that she thought she heard some kind of weird grunt type sound. But what got real interesting is when she turned on her headlamp and took her extra flashlight and started spotting around and shining. She pointed real quick with excitement. She's like, Daddy, I see eye shine. I see eye shine. So I was like, where? You know, and I guess she only saw it for a few quick seconds, and then I guess it went away. She pointed in the direction where she saw the eye shine because that's where we kept hearing something run over that way, and then we heard something running back. So her eye shine. I said, she kept saying it was low to the ground. I said, how low to the ground? She said about my height. I said, Brianna, that's not low to the ground. That's probably about 5 feet tall, 5 or 6 feet tall. And what she described the eye shine as being yellow golden eye shine. That's exactly what she said, yellow golden eye shine. Now, in this case here, I'm going to rule out a bear. Because actually I've seen bear at night with my lights hitting the eyes of a bear. They're red. We actually seen one that night. Didn't see the whole figure of it, but that's another situation. We were riding down the road, and she spotted big red eye shine, and then I looked out ahead, a good 75 to 100 yards in front of us. Sure enough, there was big, large, big red glowing eyes in the middle of the road, and then it seemed to disappear. Uh, Now, like I said, and Fred said he's been seeing a big bear around there, and that there pretty much proves to me that that was a bear. Because the bear hunt has been around there. Bears are being pushed around, so it would only make sense what I saw was a bear. Brianna's eye shine, on the other hand, it goes along. It relates to our encounter back in 2014. Um, and what we saw were not bears. What we seen were between three sets of eye shine between the height of 5, 6 to 8 foot tall, and they all had large yellow golden eye shine. And so I was just actually talking to Fred earlier that day and telling him what I was hearing. I was actually messaging him on Facebook from out there where we were camping after he had gone home. And he says, yeah, he said, you got those two juveniles that like to cause trouble. He said, they're going to have fun with you guys and, have a little fun. And so, I listened to some of my audio the next day, and I only went through probably the first 2 or 3 hours of it. And you can hear on the audio, which I'll get some of it uploaded at a later date. But what was interesting was in the audio, I'm listening, you can hear all the running, the scuffling, the thumps. You can hear it all in the audio. And then one part, and I actually got it downloaded. I don't know. I'm going to try to play it for you guys. You got to listen to it very carefully till I get it uploaded on my SoundCloud. I don't know. You may not be able to hear this, but I'm going to try to play this. Give me a second here. It's like it's possibly a grunt, or maybe were they trying to speak or something? Because what I heard was very weird. Hold on one second. Give me a second. Give me a second. All right. Where's my audio? Hold on. I'm gonna get this for you guys. Hold on. All right, and yeah, I saved it in my phone as unknown, but here it is. I'm gonna try to play this. Make sure my volume's up, and it's only 8 seconds long, so you'll hear the slight, quick little grunt type sound. So here it goes. I don't know if you guys heard that. Let me try to play that again. It's kind of towards the end of the audio. All right, here it is. I'm gonna play it one more time. I don't know. It was weird. I don't know if it was some kind of possible weird language or some kind of odd, grunt or whatever that was. But that there, from the time frame on my audio, from the time I set it out there, I set my audio out there about 10 o'clock. That there was around 1 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know what that was. And Fred, I hear you a little bit. Hold on, Fred. Bro, oh no, hold on. Huh. I don't know, I started to hear you there a little bit, Fred. But hold on, I'm gonna jump on and check the live chat. Since we have more viewers, I want to go ahead do a rewind on what I first started speaking when I went live. Um, I'm just going over and speaking about some of the happenings of what happened over the weekend. Um, let's see. Um, and then I actually just shared some a small piece of the audio that I found off the my that I had left out. Anyway, there's some more details to go over about the what happened that Saturday night because I did an investigation of the whole surrounding area, and yeah, I found tracks where Brianna, my daughter Brianna, had stated where she said she saw the eye shine. And I do have video of showing the impressions of the tracks. And the tracks were probably about 12 to almost 12, 13 inches long by probably about 4 to 5 inches wide. Um, Now, I don't know if I have any skeptics or non-believers viewing, but in most common cases, they'll call it, well, you had a bear. Well, really, a bear's, I don't know. Bear would be pretty blunt to come that close to a camp. We were actually doing tree knocks that night. My daughter gave off small whoops that night, and I believe that's what triggered a lot of the excitement and a lot of the activity that night. She actually gave off a couple whoops. Actually, Fred messaged me and told me he said have her give off a couple whoops, and which I do believe that triggered something. That triggered some activity. Um, Hold on, let me jump back to the live chat here. Where am I here? All right, see if we have any questions or comments here. All right. All right. All right. Right now, the live chat is actually currently empty right now, so it's easier for you guys to comment or question anything you want at the live chat. And if you're asking where the live chat is, if you're watching this, look right below this. All comments and questions are welcome right below this. I know some of you are actually commenting and stuff on the Facebook, but it's easier for me because I'm not on Facebook unless I switch over to Facebook. If you have questions, you want to ask anything you want, doesn't matter. It's this is also an open podcast. I mean, we're gonna talk and discuss about anything else you want to. But like I said, questions, comments, jump on the live chat. If you're unable to see it or make comments, you have to subscribe, I believe, because thanks to Susie from Bigfoot Community, that's what I didn't realize until she actually pointed that out to me. The reason why she couldn't see the live chat last time she was watching the show, she didn't know until she subscribed is when she was able to start seeing all the comments and questions. So, but man, I don't know what's going on with Fred's audio. This is weird. It didn't do this last time. Because I watched his podcast he had the other night, and hold on. Let's try doing that. Yeah, I got you on big screen right now, Fred. I don't know. You said it might be on my end. That's what I've been checking. Hold on a sec. Right where it says mute, it's not muted. I'm gonna try to click mute and see what happens. Now it says I muted you, Fred. Well, all right. I can't unmute you. You have to go under your own profile to try to unmute you. Okay, you got it. You're unmuted, but I don't understand that. Don't know what's wrong. I'm going to get my might be on there. That. All right, it's on my end. I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on. I just been. Well, I'm not sure what's going on with Fred's audio, but like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is kind of awkward. All right, I'm trying everything I can, everything I can think of to try to get Fred's audio on. It's got, it would make sense that it's on my end because when he did his podcast the other day, it worked fine for him. It's always a headache and a pain in the butt when there's some kind of technical difficulties with something. Either the screen's freezing up or there's poor audio signal. I mean, I can hear Fred moving around. I can hear like bits and pieces of what he's trying to say, but I don't know. Let me try something. I don't know what else to try to get Fred's audio up. Okay, I'm unmuted now. Yeah, because Fred, on my end, when I click on your profile picture down here on the bottom of the screen, it's showing that I don't have you muted here. Um, the only thing I could think of, if you want to jump out and jump back in real quick, but I don't know if that would make a difference or not. Hey, when you try to speak into your microphone, right on the bottom, does it show the audio bars jumping up? Like when I'm speaking, I can see the audio. It's not doing that at all. All right. Check on your headset. Do you have a switch? Because like I have a switch on mine. I can mute it directly through here as well. Because I make sure the volume's up and the mute button's off on my headset. Um, hmm. All right. Switch is working. Okay. Hmm. All right. I don't know. You trying to tell me, Fred? All right. Hmm. Well, I'm hearing bits and pieces of noises there from Fred. But while he's working on that, hold on. I keep hearing feedback. Like I'm hearing something coming from you, Fred. Hmm. All right. Yeah, I'm still not hearing none. Yeah. All right. Hold on. Let me try something here. Hold on. Bear with me, everybody. I'm trying to check something here. Just checking my connections on mine for some reason. All right. Well, meanwhile, not to, I want to keep this going. Let Fred work on that for a little bit. Um, but like I said, I investigated the surrounding area after receiving some, after that night of activity and hearing the thumps and crashes and whatnot. Um, I looked around and I found a few small saplings and stuff which are pushed that were pushed down, a couple of bent bigger trees. Um, but over there where she saw the eye shine, that's what was more concern. I was more concerned about myself. I was more interested in that area there. But yeah, there was definitely tracks there, and I do have them filmed. They were in the leaves, so no, I did not cast them. Um, um yeah, but like I said, they were between 12 to 13 inches long, and they were about 4 to 5 inches wide, at least. There was there was a set of them there, and I found that very impressive, and it confirmed that there was something there. And from that view, from where she said the subject was, like I said, the tracks were there, and you had good view of the camp. Straight down, you had good view of the camp. So, yeah, she had something staring at her. Um, um, I mean, I believe that's what I picked up on my audio. I might have more on my audio. I just have to go through it. I've only gone up to the first couple hours into it. For the first 2.5 hours roughly. So I will be getting more in my audio. I have actually Friday nights recording because I had my audio out Friday night and I had it out Saturday night. So yeah, I have a lot of audio to go through, and I'm hoping to share something awesome with you. Um, but yeah, that audio I played for you guys here shortly. I mean earlier. Feel free to check it out when I post it again. I'll actually upload it to SoundCloud, where it probably will sound a lot better, a little bit louder. You maybe be able to figure it out. But it was definitely some kind of grunt. It was. I can honestly say it was not a bear. If it was, I don't know. It sounded like the creature or animal was trying to speak somehow. I don't know. It was very weird. Um, but like I said, after investigating that area, we did some riding around up the road a little ways. I went a few miles up the road, checked a couple of areas that I've seen before. There was actually a couple little other smaller fields up along the way, and uh, I found a few things. I found actually a trackway. Actually, if some of you guys recall or see the photos that I actually posted the other day, in one of the fields, you could see I had uh, some foot tracks, a trackway going along in the back part of that field there. Those tracks were actually approximately about 11 to 12 inches long right there. They definitely had the humanoid foot shape. Now, because judging from the size, but the 12-inch tracks, 11 to 12-inch tracks, some people will say, well, you had a very large bear. Well, the stride was between a 38, some of them kind of varied. Some of them were around 38, some of them were a little longer. But they were definitely a humanoid foot shape. Um, you can see the toes. The toes were in an angle, slanted like a human track. And these tracks were sunk in about 2 inches, if not more. The ground was soft. This is the back part of the field. The field was covered with pine needle litter, some leaves, but in this general area, it was strictly all pine needles. So that's, and the dirt, you can see the dirt from the subject that stepped and walked in there. So that was very interesting to find them. And I know some of you guys who are viewing actually seeing some of my photos. I do have videos I have yet to upload. I tried to upload them the other day, but I was having network problems, so I could not get them uploaded. I'll try again here afterwards. So, excuse me 1 second. Um, but meanwhile, hopefully Fred's going to jump off and try to get back on again. I don't know what the situation is. There he is. All right. Still no audio, huh, Fred? Man, that kind of bites. Trying to think. Hold on a second, Fred. Okay. Well, all right. Well, Glenn Hurd says, I'm coming in loud and clear. Yeah, and he says, Fred sounds like he's underwater. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I do not know what's going on with that. I know just the person we need to figure this out. Shane Bradbury, excuse me, Shane Bradbury. Is there any way you could try to message him and let him know what's going on? And maybe he could probably. He's always been pretty good about this because. Yeah, Glenn. I don't know what's going on. This all started last time me and Fred had a show together that I hosted, and it sounded like there was feedback. And I actually, on my end, I was able to mute him, and then after I unmuted him, it just stopped working. So the only thing I can think of, it's a technical issue. I don't know if it's something that could be. It's like the audio froze up, maybe on my end, where it's not projecting his audio into the live video here. I don't know what else to really check. Let's see. All right. Fred. All right, hold on. Fred's messaging me here on the chat. Oh, Fred. I mean, if it's on my end, I don't know what else to check. because it's right here. If I click on it right here, it's showing that you're not muted on my end. So, all right. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Message Shane. Just let him know exactly what's going on. Tell him to start. Let him know that it started. Remember last time we did a show together, and I muted you from my end because it was like I was hearing feedback, and when I unmuted you, it just never came back through. Let's. Only thing I could think of is trying to do this. See right here, it says I muted you. Now watch. Okay, now you're off. You're unmuted. No, no, not yet. Hold on. No, what the heck's going on here? Hmm. Fred, try just for the heck of it. Hold on. I'm trying to unmute you now. It won't let me unmute you. All right, you're unmuted right now. Is it still no audio? All right, he said, okay. Shane says for me to go out and come back in. All right. All right, everybody just hang tight. I'm going to jump off and I'll jump right back in. I'm going to try to see if this works. If not, I'll continue on with everything. But everyone stay live, stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, never mind. If I hang up, it's going to end the broadcast. That's the option it gave me on my end. So I can't do that. It would actually end the broadcast if I hang up right now. Well, I could. I would have to go through the trouble of Fred says just start another one. I would have to share the link. This link is actually just got shared like through 1,000 groups. uh, Hold on. I got people messaging me here. Hold on. Let's see. Oh damn! I can't watch right now. Okay. Carrie Heard, you're welcome. And Carrie says, "Damn it, I can't watch right now. No more high-speed data." Yeah, my data's. I gotta watch my data too. So, but let's see what else I got going on here. Well, actually, this what will make this interesting. Is anyone else actually interested in joining in live with us? That wants to participate in live chat, wants to share anything? You're more than welcome to. If you're not, if you want to join in. Hey, Fred, I'm hearing movement on your end. I hear something. Hey, try disconnecting your headphone for a second and then try to talk. No, I'm not hearing nothing. Oh, wait a minute. What the heck's going on? It sounds like it's trying to. But do I have any viewers that want to join in and maybe share something? Talk about some of the evidence they possibly found too. Um, since I mean, I don't know what else to do. Hmm, hmm. Well, if anyone has any questions as well, because I mean, like I said, I know Fred has some stuff to share too. and which audio on his end is not working. So it's because we could have a real good conversation or a good discussion tonight, but it kind of bites with Fred's not working. Fred's we got a private chat right here in the live chat. Fred said this is bullshit. LOL. Well, let me see something. Hold on. Go ahead. Fred, would you like to hold on? Hold on, man. Says nothing's working. What? I can see you and hear you. Okay. Matt Perky says something about nothing's working. I said, well, it's live. We're live right now, but Fred Kennedy's actually having technical difficulties, so I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Yeah. Kim Olet says maybe you could write and talk to us, and then I can relay everything. Let me go get. All right. Let me go get the headset from the parabolic dish. Okay. All right. Go ahead and do that, Fred. And meanwhile, I can't believe with all the viewers that we're having right now, we have no questions. Oh, wait a minute. Steve Peck. Steve Peck has said it's the government sabotage. Maybe they don't like us talking about Bigfoot. They want to keep the existence on a down low. That's actually, that's funny you bring that up because I've actually done blogs on this. I know other people have actually done shows about this, made blogs and links about that. But the government, we know the United States government is a government of secrecy. It's there's so much that they will not, they don't want leaked out, so, but yeah, actually I could get more into talking about the government and Bigfoot related, but a lot of people have been, actually it's claimed to have been shut up, when it comes to speaking about Bigfoot, especially military. So, there's a lot of law officials that acknowledge the existence because they've seen them. So, hi, Pat. Well, right now, hold on. Let me see. Let's just. Yes. Okay, I was looking at other chat. Well, that's cool, Kim. All right. Well, hey guys, I like it when you guys add to the live chat. Keep adding more. I mean, I could really get into other conversation here. anyone viewing, if you guys are viewing, you guys are welcome to jump on and add to the conversation. So, I see Fred over there, Fred playing peekaboo. I see an eyeball. There he is. All right. Hold on. Let's see what we got here. I just. Hmm. All right. Let's see. All right, hold on one second here. Hey Fred, I'm back. Are you live? Hmm. I don't know what's going on here. Wait a minute. How the heck am I in here twice? This is very weird. Hold on. Uh, Let me try something here. All right. All right. All right. I don't know what's going on here, guys. Everybody, bear with us here. Still nothing, huh, Fred? All right. I'm gonna try one more thing. Hold on. No, it's not. All right. I'm back in again. I tried everything I could, so hold on. Let me try doing something here. Hmm. Still nothing, huh, Fred? I've you saw me jump in and out several times, so I don't know why I was doing that. Hmm. Well, uh, well, I'll tell you what. As much as I would love to go on, because we could try this again, but let's try this again tomorrow night, Fred. How's that sound? But let's try it through your link. How about you create a link? We'll just I'll go in there, share everything, tomorrow. I know it works on yours. So all right, hold on. Fred's telling me hold on a second. He must be chatting here. Nope, Shane says it's on your end. Well, I don't know. we got a lot of viewers on right now, Fred. So, um, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are jumping in just now on viewing, some of our discussions actually been a little um, interrupted from technical difficulties as far as on Fred Caney's end. Yeah, because we had like a crap load of viewers. We had like a million people just pop up out of nowhere. So I'm going to try to do a rewind on something here. For those viewing, we had a camp out over the weekend, and the camp out went pretty well. We had some great company, and company that I mean, it was awesome. Company that I kind of wish stuck around, and they know who I'm talking about. And but meanwhile, like I said, Fred Candy was there, and after a great time of camping, doing some scouting around, we had did some exploring, and like I said, the nighttime was the most exciting because that's when the forest became active, became alive, and evidence after, like I said, I don't know if we have new people viewing, but apparently so. We get a lot of people showing up viewing right now. Yeah, after hearing the activity that we have heard at night, I did an investigation of the surrounding the camp, and also the location where my daughter had spotted eyeshine staring at us at night, about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Well, in that same location, like I stated earlier, that there were tracks found there, right exactly where she said she saw something. There were tracks there. So that to me confirms there was something there. Yellow golden eyeshine. About her height. Her height, my daughter's she's not much shorter than me. I'm 6 foot tall. My daughter's about 5'8", about 5'9". Uh, so, what's that tell you? Yeah, skeptics will say, "Oh, it was a small bear." Well, the foot tracks estimated between 11 to 12 inches long they were about 4 to 5 inches wide. Some of the activity that we heard around camp, yeah, we heard some kind of weird grunt type sound that actually got picked up on my audio, which sounds like something like it was like a language, perhaps. And the other thing is, there was some pushed over brush. We heard a lot of running back and forth, a lot of thumps, crashes, banging, etc., etc. Anyway, I know we got a lot of viewers on here tonight. There's so much more information that I could properly go over without interruptions. Fred Candy's audio, for some reason, apparently it is on my end where he's not picking up. Fred has a lot he can get into discussion on this. We're gonna redo the show. I mean, I'm glad you guys tuned in. We want more viewers. We want you guys to jump in. We will have a live chat tomorrow. Fred Candy, if you're not familiar with Fred Candy, Fred Candy's YouTube channel is Freddy59100. Um, he will be posting the link on in his groups. I'll make sure I share the link on my Facebook timeline. I'll be sharing it in the ECBRO forums, the ECBRO like page. So keep your eyes open. We're gonna redo this show, and I'll try not to. For those who keep commenting, they can't see me. um, I will try to keep my face on hitting because I keep turning my camera off because it's easier that way. As much as it's early right now, I hate to jump off here because we have all these viewers. It really does suck, but the only way I would stay on here right now, if you guys want to start asking me questions, it's the only way I'll stay on here. So unless I see questions pop up, we're gonna actually have to close this podcast because like tonight I pretty much been a solo act tonight. Fred Candy's audio's really messed up. Don't know why, um, but I like to do a test to see if anyone else jumps on if their audio is interrupted. Does anyone else want to jump on? For the heck, speak now, forever hold your peace. I don't see no comments jumping up. Um, hmm, don't see no comments. Uh, hmm. All right. Well, let's put it to you this way. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I hope what information I was able to share with you earlier was, interesting. Um, if you guys are not familiar with some of the evidence I have posted, it's all on my timeline, my recent uploads. Again, I have yet to go through some of my audio. One more time before we go, I am going to play that audio recording that I did pick up. This, like I said, this was in the first. No, this was after the second couple of hours of it. Um, like I said, it's very weird. It's possibly some kind of grunt or whatever. But let me get ready to play this here. I'm going to play it a couple times here. All right, if you heard it, it's right there at the end. Hold on. I don't know. Interesting, huh? Hold on. Let's see what we got here. Hold on. Hold on. What's true? Okay. Hold on. Uh-oh. Hold on. I can't jump off quite yet, Fred. Got a question. All right. I'm gonna try my best to answer this to the best of my ability. I got a question. Can you explain why you think yellow eyeshine is a Bigfoot? Well, let's put it to you this way, Beth. I you can't prove it, but you can't disprove it either. But if you also rule out the other known animals in the surrounding area, like uh, canines, like the coyotes, um, sometimes their eye shines are almost a small reddish tint, um, or a sparkle color, like a deer. A deer's has their eyes look like almost like sometimes they're like marbles, white light marbles, or sometimes depends on how the light's hitting the eyes. Bears have red eye shine when light hits it. Some of them glow pretty good. Um, Other known animals in the forest, they all are pretty much well accounted for. As far as with others, all relate to the other known animals. Every known animal has a distinct color eye shine. Um, but the yellow eye shine, I could kind of confirm it being Bigfoot in this sense here, if this makes any sense. Last year in 2014, because me, along with 5 others, actually witnessed this. What we saw, without doubt, we saw 3 subjects, and we know they were Bigfoot. Okay, the behavior, the movement, we saw the size, we saw the tall shape of the silhouettes. So what we were looking at, and we actually even tried to debunk it to make sure that's what we were seeing. But they all expressed large yellow glowing eye shine. I mean, very large yellow eye shine. So I know some people report seeing red. I mean that's probably true. But you know what? Black bears, when their eyes are hit with red, hit with light, produce a red glow. Um, Now it's stated over in the West, like brown bears, grizzlies, some of them have naturally red eyes. But a lot of people state seeing red eyes with Bigfoot. Well, that may be so. That may be a rogue Bigfoot, but it's like a grizzly or brown bear. When they have red eyes, when their eyes are glowing red, I've once, from what I understand, that's usually when they have aggression or frustration, or they're angry. Um, that's known with a black, like I said, brown bear or a grizzly, whatever. Well, with the yeah, like I said, with the yellow glowing eye shine from the light reflection, um, that's what I witnessed along with 5 others in 2014. Not just in one subject, but with 3 subjects: a juvenile, a possible female, and a large male that was about between 7.5 to 8 foot tall. And all their heights were confirmed the next day when we did a investigation on height comparison. So that was very interesting. Actually, there was some video, the video documentation on all that. If you look up Cliff Stanley, go to Cliff Stanley's YouTube channel. He's got a few different videos. One was he actually recorded the incident when we were seeing the subjects. Now, you did not quite pick up the subjects in the video, but you actually get our activity in the video. So, which was awesome. I thought it was awesome that Cliff was actually recording the whole thing. But when I viewed it, all we got was not but our activity, our excitement, and everything during our encounter last year. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. But oh no! Again, Cliff Stanley also has the height comparison that we did the next day, because it was May 3rd of 2014. That night we had our encounter. The next day, May 4th, is when we did our height comparison at that very exact location. Because where we had the bushes there, where the subjects were standing behind, the bushes were over 6 foot tall. And standing behind the bushes, the eyes were like well over 1.5 to 2 feet above them, which was confirms that, I don't know, it was just awesome. You would have had to been there to actually completely understand it. Give me a second, Fred. Fred's trying to tell me something here. Most squatches are fluorescent green. All right, okay. Well, that's interesting, though. There you have it, folks. Most squatches are fluorescent green. So, but like I stated, some people actually stated seeing red, but the yellow. I mean, yellow to me like is what we experienced when we saw when we had our encounter. Yellow was what my daughter saw. I mean, she didn't see no shape or silhouette, but when she gave me the height, when she told me how tall it was, unless it was a bear that was standing up, because I mean, what we heard running behind us was like running and kicking up the leaves, running one way, running another way. Yeah. So now Fred said the juvies you got behind camp was fluorescent green. Well, I don't know. With what we heard running around the camp, Brianna stated that she saw yellow gold color. That's what she said, yellow gold. So I mean, I understand I mean, maybe their eyes could change during mood, because maybe, I mean, some animals do. I mean, it's stated that some people change eye colors change on mood with mood. I believe it's possible that animals' eye color will change with mood. For example, what I just stated earlier, bears out west, brown bears, grizzly bears, their eyes will turn red when they are angry or have aggression. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. That explain. I mean, to me, my theory is that explains why many different animals actually have the different eye colors at different times. So, just give me a second. Okay. Um, hmm. But hold on. I'm gonna make a big announcement about tomorrow's show, because we are having another show tomorrow, and Fred Candy is hosting it. So hold on one second. I'm gonna check something real quick. See if we have any other last comments, because we got a lot of viewers going on right now. So, wait. Ah, my recording, from what I played earlier, Glenn Hurd said it sounds like a whoop to me. Which, okay, I mean, that's possible. I'll have to definitely look at it. Okay, and Steve Peck says I'm about 2.5 hours north of you. My son heard two whoops this morning. That's awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to check out. Like I said, I have more audio to go through, and I'll have to definitely check that out. Um, let's see. Any more questions or any questions before we jump off here tonight? Because we're gonna pick this back up tomorrow. Well, Fred Canny, we're gonna be live. Fred Canny, we're gonna be hosting off of his show, on his YouTube channel, Freddie 59100. And like I said, for those who might be trying to comment, um, like I said, you would have to most likely subscribe. If you try to do it on Fred Candy's, feel free to. If you're not subscribed to Fred Candy, be sure to do so at Freddy 59100. Um, like I said, we're gonna be live tomorrow. 8 o'clock sound good to you, Fred? 8 o'clock. Okay. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Eastern Standard Time. It is. Um, yeah. For those who were watching earlier, you see, I started off solo. Fred jumped on, and the audio, for some reason, there's an audio issue. When he's live on my end, he just jumped off. Um, but I mean, to me, I'm looking at the time. It's actually still very early. I really don't want to jump off here because I'm enjoying this very much. I'm starting to get some comments where people want to know things, so it's actually building up into a great conversation. Um, I mean, long as if I have the questions and and the stuff that to feed me, um, I'll start doing solo things. I mean, because you guys kind of help create the show. Believe it or not, when you guys view, when I see on my screen, because I'm hosting the screen, I can see who's viewing. Well, not who, but how many. And so it's encouraging that you guys continue to view. It'll actually, like I said, it'll help open up conversation because I can start getting into um, I can start getting into other conversations. Um, so like basically what Fred's doing, there's something Fred's working on, and it's turning out really good right now. Fred's working on yeah, Fred, I seen it. But Fred is going through a series of researchers across the country and how they do it, and he's gotten one, two, oh wait, three so far, right? Three, that's right. And it's actually going really well. Fred, could you message me up here on the group chat to tell me when the next one when your next schedule is on that, so we can announce that too, so we could keep people informed on all this. Let's see. Hmm. Hold on, Fred. Oh wait, if you put it up, there it goes. Oh, wow. All right, I don't know. This may bring a lot of viewers. This may not bring a lot of viewers. But next week, Fred, he's working on getting Rick Dyer. Yeah, the the Rick Dyer, the alleged liar, the number one hoaxer, and keep in mind, folks, he admits that he was a hoaxer. He claims to have done it for a very good reason. Now, was it wrong that he lied to many people? No, but he admits that what he did. He said he did it to feed his family. But then again, he has something else going on. He actually claims that there really was something else involved, but I stay out of those situations. Same thing with Justice Maya. I mean, we've had him on live chat before. We've had him on the shows before, and we've actually had a great conversation with him. And the man is so persistent with his story. It's like, did he just tell it so many times? He just got it down packed like an actor. I mean, an actor could tell you the line. An actor, or somebody in a play could go over the same line over and over and over and over, and be so I don't know. The man is so consistent with his stories. I mean, don't know what to believe anymore. But so I mean, a lot of people call it BS. I mean, it's whatever. I just, I've talked to both gentlemen. You know, they liar or not liars, hoaxers or not hoaxers. The people are human beings as well. They're not to be hated. You know, it's one thing if you don't respect them, that's fine. You don't have to respect them, but you don't want to be hateful towards them. That's, you know, I mean, you can still have conversation with somebody and not hate them. So that's something to keep in mind. We're all human. None of us are perfect. Sometimes we make stupid mistakes and foolish decisions, but that's the chance we take. But hold on, Fred's pointing at me. Everybody, I'm sure you all see him on the lower screen pointing away. Fred, you might be deaf, but you're not blind. People are not blind; they still see you. Look on your message link. There's a link there. I'm trying to get Rick Dyer next. Hold on. I already read that. Oh, here we go. Reason being because he does know how to research, or might get. Okay, or you might get Brenda Harris or Barb Shoop. Okay, Barb Shoop, she's a hard one to get because I know she's nights are hard for her. I know I've talked to Barb before, briefly through Messenger, and she is actually hard, and something to do with I don't know. I guess her husband works weird hours or something and sleeps during the day or something. I don't know, but I don't know. We'll figure it out, everybody. Hold on, I'm getting notifications here. Let me check. Where am I getting my notifications at? I think I might have something here on the live chat. Hold on. Bear with me. All right, if you want to test your link, you can. I just don't know. Steve, yeah, all right, I'm gonna share the link directly to you. Um, if I share it to you, all you have to do is click it. If you've never been on a live podcast, it'll ask you, your computer will ask you to automatically install a plugin, and which just all you do is click allow. It'll only take about two or 3 minutes or so. And also, what it'll also do is once you get to the live podcast, you'll have a screen pop up. Just click on the lower left-hand corner, the the agreement box, and then just below that, you'll see the blue box that says join video call, and then you'll see it again. Hit join. It's all pretty self-explanatory. Give me a few seconds. I'm gonna hide my camera here so I can switch over and try to do this. Just bear with me here. All right. All right. See if I can do this right here. Steve, let me toot. All right, Steve Peck, I'm actually sending you the. Oh, hold on. I'm sending you the link through your Facebook Messenger here right now as we speak. If it lets me, hold on. All right, Steve Peck, you now have it. So go ahead and give that a try. Anyone else that wants to try, you're more than welcome to. If you want to come in and chat real quick. And I got another friend request from a herd. Glenn, are these all your relatives? It's pretty cool. These must be your relatives, Glenn. I don't know. These are your. I had a Carrie. Now I have a Hannah. These must be your daughters. So I know you tagged them in the post under the link, which is cool though. It's cool that they like viewing this. So if you guys are viewing, it's nice to have you guys on. We have a lot of random podcasts. Sometimes I announce them the day of. Sometimes I announce them a week in advance, whatever, etc. Maybe a day, whatever. You have to just follow me if you want to keep up with my podcast. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. So we're gonna sit tight here for a few minutes before and see what happens. See if uh, Steve could jump on here. So yeah. Yes, so Steve, if you're watching, that link I sent you, just click on the link in your Facebook Messenger and just follow the steps. Also, if you're viewing on a laptop with a screen video built-in camera, it should work fine. And we got another question from Beth. Does the color of their eyes matter as far as seeing at night? Well, that's a good question. That's a very good question. That's a tough one. Fred, I'm going to try to answer this as best I can. If you have anything to say to this, go ahead and chat, throw a chat up there, and I'll try to relay your. Well, he's saying yes, it does. Well, like most animals, even humans. Well, I can't really say for. Well, that's funny. Yeah, humans don't really have eye color, do they? Because every time I shine a light in someone's eyes, I never notice anything. But animals, all animals have, eye shine. Usually, and it makes sense now that I'm thinking about it. Fred stated green, greenish color, like a fluorescent green. Look at cats. Cats have like a fluorescent green, even a slight yellow tint at night. A cat. Hey, there's Steve. Hey, Steve, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, how about now?
All right. Hey, do you have a headset or some earplug?
I just put a headphone from listening.
Yeah, see if you can plug in some headphones, because I hear all the background audio in there. That'll help reduce the feedback audio.
All right. Any better?
Yeah. I hear you real loud and clear. Well, I hear the dog and everything else too.
Yeah, you hear me, Joe.
So, Steve, you said you're about 2.5 hours north. Are you referring here in Virginia?
What am I hitting? I got headphones on, but I don't have a intercom.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Is the okay? You got the headphones plugged in?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's the dog.
Okay. All right, but yeah, I hear you pretty good. Huh?
Let's try something. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
I think I had
Oh, wait a minute.
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm just hearing a lot of the all the sounds in your house.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
It's alright. Yeah, just yeah, Fred's adding to your question, Beth. Hold on, let me go back. I lost it. Hold on. Yeah, what Fred's stating is there is a difference in humans. The corneas in their eyes are different and causes different colors when light hits it. So, which makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Just like your cats, bears, deer, and so forth. So, yeah.
You still have your camera on.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, if you want, you don't have to turn your camera on if you don't want to. You can turn. Do you know how to turn your camera on?
I thought it was on.
Yeah. If you go to the top screen where the menu bar is, take your mouse and go to the top screen. You'll see a menu appear of the top center, and you'll see the. Oh, okay. Well, do you have a on your Gmail account that you're through this on? Do you have a
There we
profile picture on
go.
your Gmail?
What, it just come
Ah,
on?
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you. All right. How you doing?
I'm above ground, brother.
Well, as much as I chatted with you on Facebook, it's actually good to put a face with a name there.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, where exactly are you in Virginia?
I'm in West Virginia.
Oh, West Virginia. Okay.
I'm halfway
halfway
between
between
Berkeley
Berkeley
Springs
Springs
and
and
Paul.
Okay.
Who's
Sounds
that?
like you're
sounds
being
like you're being
attacked.
attacked.
Let me guess.
Let me guess. You're gonna
Jack
Jack
Russell.
Russell.
No,
No,
that's a Chihuahua pit bull.
Ah,
oh,
okay,
okay,
okay.
okay.
All right,
All right,
hold
hold
on
on
one
one
second.
second.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Um.
hold on. Okay.
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 Well, I'll tell you what.
Tell you what.
I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna go
mute
ahead.
you.
Oh, I'm gonna mute you.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute you
Yeah,
for a
I'm gonna mute you
second.
for a second.
I'm gonna test
I'm
something
gonna
out
test
right here.
something out right here.
Okay.
Okay,
Right
right
now I
now I
got you.
got you.
Hold on.
Hold
I'm
on, I'm
hearing
hearing
feedback.
feedback right here.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hold on.
Hold
When
on.
I
When I
talk, I hear
talk, I hear
myself
myself
talking.
talking.
That's
That's
weird.
weird.
I never
I
had
never
that
had
done
that done
before.
before.
Well,
Well,
I
I
have.
have.
All right.
All right,
I'm gonna
I'm
try
gonna
to.
try to.
Man, I
Man,
can't
I
even
can't even
talk.
talk.
Oh,
Oh, listen,
I
I
can't hear
can't hear
myself
myself
talk like
talk
that.
like that.
All right.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
I'm gonna
try
try
to
to
unmute
unmute
you and see
and
if
see
I
if
can
I
hear
can
you
hear you
again.
again.
This is
This is
exactly what I
exactly what
did
I
to
did with
Fred
Fred
last week.
last week.
Uh, hold on. Hold on. It takes a little while to actually do it. All right. Hold on. It's not. Yeah, Steve. If you take your mouse, go on your profile picture where I have you where you see your face down on the lower screen, and click on it. You'll see a little menu pop up where it says muted or mute. Click. Try to unmute yourself real quick. See if I'll let you do it.
There you go.
All right, there you go. And go ahead and try to talk.
Hey.
Okay, it still works. See, that's exactly what I did to Fred last week, and for some reason his audio's messed up. But it definitely works with you. That's cool though.
Like I said, a bunch of low-tech rednecks in a high-tech world.
That's right. So I don't know. That's weird. Hold on, I got comments. Somebody did comment here.
They probably want to get the Sasquatch off the screen.
So you get a lot of activity out your way?
Uh, yeah, there's one guy that's really into it up here. I got talking to him down in town. And, seems like he's got a lot going on. He was explaining to me. We live about a mile off of a train track that runs along the river, and we've had had encounters on the county to the right of us. It was by a fireman back in the 70s, and then last year a couple saw one near an apple orchard run across the road, and then the county to the east of us has had a report where the family of them was actually around their house for a while, and like I say, the common link is this railroad and this river. I think they migrate along these railroad lines.
That's pretty cool. Now, where right there in Berkeley, where you live, is that is that pretty wooded right there in your area?
Well, I'm about 13 miles west of Berkeley Springs, so I'm up on the top of the mountain range there, where it's very rural. The road I live on is probably about 2 miles long, and it's probably got 3 people living on it.
Oh
It's
wow.
not. And the only time you ever see any people up here is hunting season, and they're for 2 weeks, and then they're gone. And
Right.
we have a lot of bear around here. People can say what they want. You see a bear, you see something, there's a lot of naysayers. It's always an excuse of what this thing is. And, every time you have a picture of one, it's always blurry. You seem like you can never get a good picture.
Right.
I'm one of the firm believers that believes we need a body. I don't want to kill one. I hate to say he needs to be killed, but I think it's what it's going to come down to is we need a body of one. Unless they can make transmitters the size of a .22 bullet, and they have
Right.
a range of a mile. If you can get within decent distance, you could pop one with a transmitter and track it. It would be a great thing, but that would be the ultimate goal.
Right.
Up
Okay.
here,
Yeah, I see.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I
Oh no, I was
up
just.
here, it's very rural. Like I said, there's not a lot of people. We do have bears. I saw a bear. I've lived in this area for 3 years. I saw the first bear last week. So even though there's bear around, it doesn't mean you see them all the time. And you're talking about a creature that's trying to avoid people even more than a bear is, and So
Oh,
I'm surprised that you haven't seen it all.
absolutely. Huh. All right. Fred went in, left, and came back in. Fred, do you have audio? Nope. Okay. Well, I think Fred's trying to get on here. See,
Y'all were talking the other day about the owls, and I said something about the 800-pound owl. I was out on my
yeah.
porch and heard an owl. One
Uh-oh, hold on. Someone froze up.
was coming from one side of a couple hundred feet of the porch in the woods. Man, that thing sounded like a death metal singer hooting. It was just the lowest hoot I'd ever heard in my life. So that's why I believe that they mimic owls, and also I think they mimic crows. And that's just going back to what y'all talking about on a show a couple days ago.
Yeah, because me and Fred, Fred's experienced it on more than one occasion, and we've actually shared that one time when me and him were together, and we've heard it a couple different times, and you can hear a very distinct difference. I mean, you can hear just a barred owl makes a very distinct sound. You cannot mistake it a barred owl, because I got recordings of barred owls, and I've heard them plenty of times out in the woods, and when you hear something that tries to sound like a barred owl, but with a guttural tone in it, like it sounds a lot deeper. uh, those other sounds that are imitated definitely stand out. So it's very interesting. So
This morning, my son, he has to drive about a mile to get to the bus stop. We're about a mile off asphalt. And he said
right.
he was listening this morning and picked the boy across that lives up here also. Well, said they were sitting there waiting for the bus and they heard a dog barking off in the distance. And he said he'd heard a distinct whoop because he's heard me do them here trying to get responses. And he said the dog stopped for him, and dog started barking and heard the whoop again. Kind of freaked him out a little bit.
Oh
You
wow,
know,
wow, that's pretty cool.
my wife is a non-believer.
Oh yeah,
They're
she thinks
shaking
it's
her
a
head.
bunch of foolishness.
She's a non-believer. I can't wait till one steps out in the road in front of her.
Well, the thing is, I deal with a lot of non-believers, and I deal with a lot of skeptics. I got real good friends that are skeptics. I got real good friends that are non-believers. And I mean, I've had people really talk down on it, like look at it like it's like a believing in a cult. I mean, but if people realize how simple and it is, how related it is in natural nature, I mean, and just take the time to get out there and look around and open their eyes. Because I've talked to hunters, hikers, people who say, "Well, I'm out in the woods all the time. I spend years out in the woods." Well, you were out there focused on one specific thing. You're not out there. You weren't out there looking before. Now I've got individuals just like that. Now are starting to pay attention, starting to notice things that they never realized that were in front of their face their whole life. And it's the simple things, man. It's like that's part of what I do. I go out there. I share simple things that will help bring awareness and open up people's eyes, and and now I have people starting to recall certain incidents in their past where, like, you know what, I had this happen to me, and I didn't think nothing of it, but it wasn't a bear, or I have people who actually study wildlife, and now they're getting to the point where, well, look, I'm finding this, and I'm ruling out all these other animals, including bears. I said, well, what else of such large size is going to create what you're finding? So it gets them really thinking. So, and those skeptics are actually turning into believers. So, I mean, one gentleman in particular, I can tell you, he says, I can't say Bigfoot, but he says, I know there's something out there, other than a known acknowledged animal. So, I mean, that's how, it's all about educating and awareness. I mean, that's people just got to take the time to look around and have an open mind about what's out there. I mean, we're
You
not telling
know,
you to believe in something. Yeah, go ahead.
if you think about the American Indians didn't have electronics, they didn't have TVs, all this, and they were very in touch with nature. They believed in nature.
Absolutely.
They were of the spirit of everything. And everything had a spirit and everything had a reason. And they were in
Right.
touch with nature and with their surroundings. And they observed everything. That's why I think that the Indians recognized the Sasquatch so much more than what we are today, because nowadays people walk through the woods still playing with their cell phones. And, a hunter,
Yeah.
he was looking for something to shoot out of a tree, looking for a deer to move. He's not, the Indians were aware of what was there, and they became one with with the nature, and that's how they dealt with it.
Right. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, I had individuals who did not believe in Bigfoot whatsoever. Someone who made fun of Bigfoot, people who believe in it. Till he couldn't explain what happened at his camp. I mean, him and his wife and his brother were out there camping. His wife and brother went up to the store while he was out in the woods, left alone. He started hearing the tree knocks. He didn't think nothing of it. He's like, "What the heck?" So his quote was, being what he said, a smart ass. He said he took a stick, started banging back on a tree. What happened next? He got responses, and sometime after his wife and brother got back, they're all hanging around. Then that's when the rocks started coming in over on the other side of down the bank across behind their camp across the creek. Rocks came flying. One of them landed right
Yeah.
over his wife's head into the fire pit, and
And
that kind
bears
of
throw
freaked them out.
rocks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people don't realize bears don't have fingers like we do. It takes fingers and hands to throw. It takes fingers and hands to grab and bend and twist. I mean, a lot of tree break. Same thing with tree breaks and stuff. Yeah, bears are famous for it. They're common for it, but it takes a lot of creativity. It takes knowledge and wisdom to form structures when they twist and twine trees with other trees, forming oddball structures, and But thing is, it's all found out there, and a lot of it people try to debunk. When you try to take a non-believer out there, uh, I've heard the craziest stuff where they try to debunk it or come up with what they call a logical explanation, which their logical explanations are nonsense. So,
What's that song
uh,
say?
yeah, hold on, I'll find out. Hey, I'll put it up again, Fred. I got you on full screen now. Go ahead. All right, hold on here.
I just started watching his videos here the other day when I was watching you, and got to meet him through watching you, and I was watching
Okay.
his videos. He's awesome about how he came, going through the woods hunting and noticed those subtle little things, and he's right on about that. There's subtle little things that you may never notice, but if you take the time, you will. And he's right on the money about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, Fred, ask Shane, does he want me to send him the link? I don't know if he can get in through here and do it somehow. I could tell you what. Hold on, give me a second. All right, hey Fred, I just sent Shane the link, so if he wants to join in and see if he could do anything. All right, hold on one second. All right. Yeah, because right now we still have a good amount of viewers right on here, so it's pretty cool. All right, hold on. We got questions here, so. All right. Glenn Hurd asking, he said, Hannah, my daughter would like to know how long it takes a baby Bigfoot to grow up. Well, I'm going to be honest. Well, I will tell you like this. I'm going to say it's very similar to how a human grows up. Yeah, it's very similar to how a human grows up. But if you look into the known primate world, some primates, like apes or whatnot, gorillas, some of their young are born large. Some of them, like an average baby, a human baby is averaging between 6, sometimes even up to 10 pounds. In the primate world, they're born anywhere from 25, 50 to even 100 pounds. So a young juvenile infant could stand about 3 to 4 feet tall. They're probably already weighing about 75 pounds to 100 pounds right there, about 3 or 4 feet tall. So yeah, they're just like humans. They're I mean, as far as growing, and some other animals grow faster, especially with deer. You know, their sizes. You know, like with a male deer, they're determined by their, you know, their antlers, etc., etc. But with primates, they're very similar to humans, and they grow. But with Bigfoot, I believe they grow at a much larger rate. They're much larger than an actual to a human primate. So if that helps you in any way, I mean, Fred here is actually probably trying to share some information with me that he likes to share. So let's see. So if you guys see me looking, oh, of course you can't see me what I'm doing right now because I'm actually replying to people right now. Hey Fred, Glenn Hurd said, "Come on, Fred, you can do it." They see you trying. They see you trying, man. Oh, he's telling me. Okay, he's typing to me. Hold on. All right, Fred, I sent Shane the link. He's got the link on his Facebook Messenger. By the way, if you guys are not familiar with Shane Bradbury, he's actually how me and Fred actually got started doing live podcasts. Shane Bradbury, he used to hold the Looking for Bigfoot News Hour, and he always held a very awesome podcast show. His podcasts were, you know, they actually took videos and photos and did a lot of questions about them and did voting on the photos, did voting on the videos, and like real or not real. We've had other discussions about different Bigfoot shows that were aired on TV. So, and oh, Glenn, one more thing. Fred's actually shared some information to me on here. He said if the baby is born in May, by the time he's 1 year old, he is about 3.5 feet tall, and they grow fast. So there you go. Hold on one second. I'm replying again. And Hannah says thank you. You're very welcome, hon. All right, we got Shane. We got the mysterious Shane Bradbury. How you doing, Shane?
Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
Well, I
Hey,
heard
now
you.
Shane, check the.
I heard you call my name. I'm like Beetlejuice. You can say my name 3 times. I'm here. So Freddy's having some
Shane.
problems. What?
All right, well, check this out. Mr. Steve Peck here joined in, and I did the same thing I did with him that I did with Fred last week. And I hit mute on him and unmuted him, and he still had audio. With Fred's with Fred's situation, it's the quite opposite. Fred does not have audio. I jumped out and jumped back in several times, and no difference.
Did you hit
So
mute and unmute Freddy?
yeah, and right now, look, I'm clicking on his link right here. It's not even muted right now. I'm looking at it right here. So yeah.
Well,
I don't know. But now the thing is, on his own, when he hosts the podcast, his audio is fine.
this happened to me before with the Breaking Bad cast. Someone jumped in, we couldn't hear. So what they did is they jumped back
Right.
out, and then they came back in, and then that's how we heard her. So, Freddie, go back out and come back in. Okay.
Yeah, all right, there he is, and he's been doing it like on and off throughout the last hour and a half, almost 2 hours we've been on. So yeah. So how you been, Shane?
Good.
Man, when are you gonna start jumping back on and showing your face some more?
Whenever I get some videos and photos. It's been
Well, I mean, there's
lately.
plenty.
Hello.
Oh,
Can you
Shane.
hear me? Can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear him. Yeah, we hear you.
That's 4 times. That's 4 times I popped out and come back in.
It's because I'm
All
on.
hail to the mighty Shane.
Yeah, I owe Shane a whole bunch of stuff when I see him. Even that Chewbacca mask that he wants me to get to make for him to make.
Go ahead and do it, Freddie. Because that Chewbacca mask, that's Matilda.
Actually,
Yeah.
oh, I'll talk to you later about this, Shane. But I had an interview with Scott Carpenter. I'll explain what he told me after we did the interview. I'll tell you what he told me.
You can't say it live on the air?
Yeah.
No.
Come on.
No.
It's an open
No.
discussion. You can speak about anything on it.
No.
I mean, I'm.
Hey, this is all Bigfoot related topics here. We got
No,
viewers. They
sir.
want to know.
Not on this part. No.
Okay. Tell me off the record, and then I'll speak it.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about Rick Dyer having him on there. Now, I had Mike Merchant on, and I said, Mike Merchant might be a goofball and a psychedelic fruitcake, but he's one hell of a researcher. And Rick Dyer's the exact same way. He'll admit he's a hoaxer, but when it comes to going out in the woods and researching, he knows what he's doing.
I just can't take him seriously as a researcher.
Well, believe it or not, he is a good researcher. But the problem is, he's from 2008, which we all know the old Freezer Boy bit, all the way up to now. He's blew his word from here to bump Egypt and back. But on the serious side, he knows how to research when he wants to. Or I could have Barb, or I could have Barb shoot, or I could have Brenda Harris on here. Take your pick. Whichever one y'all want me to try to get, I'll try to get. For next week.
Well, Shane, I got a question while you're on here. Have you seen Dr. Matthew Johnson's video?
Which one?
Talking about the magic portal.
No.
You have not. Okay.
I have not.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta watch that, and then you gotta share your 2 cents on that one, because that's been a big topic. That video's gone viral. So.
No, we need Henry. we need Henry Mayo in here for that one.
You know who would be fun? I'm gonna get Richter on here because Richter has he puts his 50 cents out on everybody. So, but yeah.
How do you even talk about that?
I know. Well, the magic portal.
How how would you tell your friends that you got mollywopped by a Sasquatch? I mean, how do you do this?
That's a good question, because when I sent the video to Daniel, but I sent that one, plus I sent one by what's that other boy's name? Stacy Brown. And I watched that one by Stacy.
Fred, I know what he's talking about. But we have very young viewers watching right now. Glenn's got his children watching, so watch how you say that.
I wasn't going to say it.
I know. But we all know what you're referring to.
Yeah. You know, but my theory of it is, he says we got two witnesses saying that they seen the portal open. They seen two little demons. They could be either the good demons or the bad demons.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and my theory is we have portals, but it's an outer space. Wormholes. That's what I see. I see wormholes.
I'm going to go on record and saying I was this close to getting Matthew Johnson for an interview.
Really?
Yep. The thing was that he wanted me to call him so we can discuss pre-interview stuff. And I was like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do this, pre-interview stuff. I'm like, straightforward. I didn't want to, discuss or anything, but that close to getting Matthew Johnson as an interview guest.
Well, in his video that he stated when he was talking about how he has this portal and only he knows that so many chosen people that he chose to come there to view it. Well, he invited Adam Davies and this Carlson guy there, and they both confirmed supposedly they seen it. And Adam Davies I have yet to get him on here because he was scheduled on a past show, and I had to cancel out at the last minute because I was having issues. And he said, all right, anytime I want to get him back on here, and I do want to get him back on here, and that's going to be the part of the discussion. I want to know what Adam Davies has to say. I want to hear from himself exactly what he says he saw. Because Adam Davies is a very highly respected researcher, cryptozoologist, and the man gets around. He takes his work pretty seriously, and so I mean that should be interesting to hear his words on that. So I'm gonna get in contact with Adam Davies and see what's up with that. So I mean, because the man's full of knowledge. The man gets around the world. He's a really busy man. So, but yeah, he wasn't sure if he could do a live podcast or not. He was going to try. If not, I was going to do it by phone, which basically kind of like what Fred did with Lorianne the other night. But I'm going to try to do it a little different. If I have to, I'll plug into my phone and let it go from there. So, but I'm going to get Adam Davies on here. I'm going to do a test podcast with him and see how that works out. So
yeah.
Right now at 8 o'clock our time, it's actually 1 o'clock in the morning his time because he's out in the UK. So yeah.
Well, I was thinking about getting Dr. Borska too one day. One day try to get him and everything. Yeah. But going back in.
But Fred, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Fred.
No, I was saying.
No, I was going to say. Go ahead. I'll talk afterwards.
No, I was going to say, going back to my area, there's two brother squatches. They're about 5.5, 6 feet tall now. And from what you told me the other night with the Yotes, and what I've been hearing, like when I was out there the other day, I heard a massive thump that vibrated the Jeep, and right after that, coyotes started barking. So I'm thinking that that group, those two squatches, are running with the coyotes. Because if you notice, when they was messing around with y'all the other night, did you hear coyotes in the background?
Yeah. Well, the coyotes, they sounded off 2 different times. The first time, you could hear them in the distance over by the field.
Right.
And then when I walked towards the back of the, behind the camp.
Yeah.
I had my audio recorder in my hand. I had just started turning it on. I said, "Oh, cool. Let's try to get some coyotes." I've gotten recordings of coyotes out there before. But while I was listening to them, you could hear them all. You could hear in the distance, but you
Yeah.
could hear one. One was actually a solo one by himself, right behind camp, probably just on the other side of the creek. If you when you walk through the woods there, you know how that creek runs behind camp.
That's
Well,
that's the dominant male.
yeah, you could hear him. He was solo,
Yeah, 'cause
and then
he
it
was.
wasn't long after that when I walked back to the campfire, sat around the fire with Brianna, and I didn't hear it right away. Brianna said she got my attention. She had her hand out pointing in the direction,
Yep.
and she said, "Daddy, there's something walking over there. I hear it walking." I said, "Stop." I told her quiet down, and then sure enough, you could hear it walking, stomping,
Yeah.
and then we heard a couple crashes back there, like something got pushed or something.
Yeah.
And then it's
They're
like
tormenting you.
it was exciting. I was actually impressed by the way Brianna took it. Brianna's 14 years old,
Yeah.
and here it is, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and we're hearing all this, and I was like,
Yeah.
you can hear running, you can hear from like directly behind camp,
Yeah.
like well, you know where you had your tent set up at.
Yeah.
That's where we first started hearing it. Then we hear running through the woods, going to the left, going over to the small field, or over to the other side of the camp where the field is.
Yeah.
And
Those
we
two.
kept hearing it go back and forth.
Yeah. Those two like to play games when it comes to people in camps at night because they know
Hmm.
it rattles. Well, as far as like me and you though, it don't bother us. And those boys from Richmond, he told me, he said, when I was washing my hands, a rock come flying by, and he said, okay, so they are here. And then that's when the other boy said, yeah, he heard something running up the creek
Yeah.
and everything. So what they're doing is, those two always stay together. Those are the black-faced brothers, and they're the mischievous ones. Then you get,
And
then,
I was gonna say one thing I
go
failed to
ahead.
mention too. The next day, after I investigated the area, you can see the scuffling. You can see all the leaves moved around. You can see a few impressions. But what I really wanted to focus on is where Brianna said she saw the eye shine around her height level. And I was like, I walked over there. She took me. I said, Brianna, show me where exactly you saw it, because I was sitting a little awkward from her, where she had a better view looking straight down that trail. She took me down there, and I got it on video where I was filming while she was showing me. And I said, all right, stay behind me. I said, I want to look for tracks. And sure enough, undeniably, there was 11 to 12-inch tracks. As far as length, they were about 4 to 5 feet wide. Excuse me, 4 to 5 inches wide, and you cannot mistake them. They were, pretty wide,
Yeah,
12-inch tracks. And right there where she said she saw eye shine, you could see there where something was really standing there.
yeah.
So,
Well,
and
far as
that
far as
confirmed it right there.
yeah, far as bears go, bears don't come that close to camp, especially this time of year, because they're gonna be scared because dogs have been running them. They've been, So the only bear we got in that area is that big old 450, 500-pound sow, and she's staying far
Oh,
away from people if they can.
I believe we saw her. I believe we saw that bear early that night when we were headed out down the road. We were actually going to the store. We were leaving out of the area.
Was she stand?
Brianna spotted it. What's that?
Was she standing up or was she on all fours?
Well, just from the looks of it, possibly on all fours, because Brianna spotted the eye shine, but way up ahead of the road. Because we were going down the road. Right as we started going down, Brianna said, "Look, there's red eyes over there." And I looked. I said, "Oh my goodness!" I said, "Sure enough, two large red eyes from reflecting off the lights."
Yeah,
And
big
I
as
looked. I said,
yeah,
"That was a
yeah,
bear, all right?" Because bears have the red eye shine.
yeah.
So
Big as she is, her say from the ground or where her eyes are, big as she is, her eyes would be about 2.5, almost 3 feet, but about 2.5 to 3 feet off the ground.
right.
If she's walking with her head level and everything. Now the squatches that I've seen, tonight me and Jeff was over at Elkhorn. I saw red eyes at 9 feet high.
Hmm.
The two squatches you got in the brush behind the camp was fluorescent green, a light fluorescent green. I've seen those colors. I've seen a fluorescent yellow with little green throat in, not much, you know.
Right.
But a fox a fox and a bear is the only two. The gray fox mainly, and the bear have got red eyes. Okay, a possum has got yellow eyes, like a deer's got yellow eyes. A polecat has got white eyes. They shine white and everything. So when you see a fluorescent green or a yellowish green, those are squatches. And if they're I don't know why, but I've seen red eyes at 9 feet high up on Bald Mountain when we had two of them follow us. So I'm thinking the red eyes is aggravation.
Right.
You know.
The same thing with, like I was saying earlier, with the bears, like brown bears, grizzly bears. They'll produce red eyes for the very same reason though. But I've heard a number of occasions people claim with their Bigfoot sightings that they saw red eyes. So, but also, sometimes I wonder if that depends on the type of light that's reflected to them too, because you got your normal, I guess you say, normal halogen lights. Then you have your fluorescent lights.
Right.
Now,
right.
Some of them produce different light tone texture.
Yeah. Now, when y'all saw those squatches over at Elkhorn at night, you saw that little one right there in front of you, about maybe 5 to 6 feet away from you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you notice how many times did he blink when he was squatting there looking at you? Do you remember?
Wait, which one now?
The first one you saw, right on the side of the road when you was walking down the road.
Oh yeah, last year. Well, the first set of eyeshine we saw.
Yeah.
Well, at first there were like.
How many times?
It blinked at least one. It blinked one time before it turned off and ran.
Okay. Now, when y'all seen the other ones standing there, how many times did they blink? Think of a human blinking. And then.
Well, let's put it this way. It was more noticeable on the one that was about 7 to 8 foot tall.
Right.
That blinked probably 2 or 3 times, and you could see the head move. And when I say you could see the head move, you literally see the head move.
Yeah.
You could ask Tracy. You saw the shape and the silhouette of the head move. Then it walk a little bit, look back, blink, stuff like that.
But if you
before it did that.
But if you notice.
Yeah, go ahead.
But if you notice, when y'all saw the bear, it did not blink. The eyes did not blink once, right?
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, Fred.
Yes.
I had an old Indian tell me one time that if you saw a squatch and they had green eyes, you were all right. But if you saw one with red eyes, you could get away from it very quickly because they are very aggressive.
Yeah, because the ones in my area, I've been doing this since 1981. I had one come out 5 feet in front of me, about 10 foot tall. Okay, that made me realize that I was scared shitless, but the bottom line was I didn't feel no threat. I didn't feel threatened. So I got the ones in my area, and I've been doing this in this area with these guys for about 3 years now, and they're used to me. Now, what they do is they travel up down Blue Ridge Parkway, but every year they come back to where they're born at and give birth to their squatches. And then when you constantly go in there and talk to them, and just hang out, and like I've been doing, and they get to the point where they trust you. Now, Daniel's been in there, he's not many times I have, but he's been in there enough to know that he's not a threat. So when they come around, they're gonna be curious and everything. But the juveniles to an adult, about to say and if you look at like the one I looked at a couple of years ago, he was 6 foot tall. He looked about in human age, he looked about like 18 or 19 years old. But their eyes, during the day, their eyes are the ones I've seen was like a midnight chocolate brown. But when the light hits them, they're either a fluorescent green or fluorescent yellowish green, which, like you said, that guy told you that you're safe around them, that they trust you. But the red eyes, I definitely agree with it too, because that night over at Elkhorn, we had this girl's boy with me and my brother, and he just he was a mouthy little boy. He ragged about everything, but he just shut up. He crossed his arms and tucked his head down. And I kept saying, what's wrong? He said, look up on the hill. and that's when I saw the red eyes up there. And then it was about 9 foot high, and then it walked over that ridge. And then he went back to run his mouth as usual. And over at Elkhorn, when Daniel and him was over there, Tracy's boy I think he got sick or nauseated. And what else happened over that night?
Well, yeah, before we all started venturing back to the camp, yeah, we were all spread around the lake, and it's when Tracy started, after hearing the movement up on the ridges behind us and stuff, and getting the vocalization response from Kimmy. Yeah, Tracy had told us after we started regrouping, he told us what was going on, how Elijah was starting to feel kind of almost like this fear came over him. He was starting to feel nauseated.
Yeah.
Because they had seen a set of eyes up on the ridge behind him,
That's exactly what that boy did.
Yep.
Yeah. But being around in my area as much as Daniel has and I have, like when I go to the apple orchard to go hunting, I'm constantly followed. I got a boatload of video and photographs of them following me in front of me and behind me and every which way, because they know I'm not going to hurt them. But when I first started going into that area, they would burn my head up. They didn't. I guess it was a day watcher didn't trust me. Now, I've been hit like 5 times already in the past 3 or 4 years. But after that, they don't bother me anymore. But like you said, the color of the eyes, the red eyes, does mean trouble.
Let me ask you another question, Fred. Where I live at, I'm up here in West Virginia. We got coyotes, but I've never heard one howl. Why would that be?
Well, the only thing I can think of, because I hunt coyotes. Now, usually I can go anywhere in the state of Virginia, and I can have them running in 10 to 15 at a time. But when I go to my area and I yell for, I do, mouth calls, I do calls through my mouth and everything, usually I can get a coyote to bark and come to me. But with these squatches being in the area, those coyotes will not respond. They will not come. It's something like, I guess you might say they make pets out of them, because I've heard coyote groups running, and then all of a sudden you hear a squatch mixed into blend. Like, me and Daniel heard a barred owl, and all of a sudden it sounded like 2, but one or 2 of them kind of sounded a little off,
Yeah, I've heard that here.
Yeah, so apparently when I'm gathering from my areas and this area, that the coyotes won't do anything unless the squatches tell them to do it. Like with Daniel, like with me, I heard that tree knock, and all of a sudden coyotes started barking. I heard a pack, then I heard one. Same way with Daniel. They heard a pack, then they heard one. The one was closer than the other pack. And when the one was closer, those 2 squatches was around. So I think squatches have a lot to do with the yotes in the areas, because usually when a pack of coyotes is chasing deer, they go crazy. They got every kind of bark you can imagine. But when the squatch is with them, they don't. That's the weird thing.
And the next day when I was investigating the area, checking out, and found those tracks, down there where the boys were camping, because they actually packed up that Saturday night after they got back from hunting.
Yeah.
Well, the next day, Brianna was playing around. She started doing tree knocks there at camp. And this is probably around 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. And it had, what I heard next made me turn around, because I heard exactly where it came from. It came right down in the direction of those boys' camp. You could not mistake. That's how close it was. That knock came from their camp in that direction.
Do you think they was on the other side of the creek, or they was on the same side of the creek, back up in the brush?
They could have been on the other side of the creek, because I actually ended up going over that way, looking around, and I didn't see nothing or hear anything after that. But you could not mistake that. There was no one over there. Those guys were gone that night, the night before. There was nobody across the road. I mean, there was nobody around.
Do you remember? You remember when me and you went back in there? And I told Jessica to follow the creek back to the camp. You was on the bank.
Right.
You was on the bank, and I was in the creek. You know when we got to that last turn? You was
Yeah.
on the bank. All right, there is a deep pocket there. It's got natives in it.
Right.
I think the other day when them boys had that rock thrown at them, there was two of them in there. It was those two brothers. It was those two brothers. One threw the rock, and when the boy said something to his buddy, and the other said, "Yeah, I heard him run." That's when the other one took off. So there were two of them. So apparently they were no further than 45, 50 yards down next to the camp, either on the other side or this side or the same side y'all was on.
Right.
Because where you set your game camera back there, that's going hit that back trail behind the camp, where that knockdown tree is. All right, you go.
Right.
All right, where you set your camera up. If you follow it in there to where your camera was and go to your left, you'll see it'll go, and then it'll turn. You'll see where it kind of veers off to your right. It comes out right there at that turn in that creek.
Interesting.
So yeah. See, I know that whole area back there on both sides, and I should have took you back there, but I thought maybe you would, right where you put your camera there, where that broken tree was and that fallen log, where you put the pin, but if you walk to the right, left of that camera, it would take you straight and veer to your right, and it would.
Yeah.
And when you come to the creek, you'd be right there in that elbow bend.
Yeah.
Now you see where I'm getting at, how close it was to them boys' camp.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's where they was probably at, and knew that if you come back there, they had an escape route.
Right. Okay. Well, I know we still have viewers on here. Man, I would so love to keep going on. It's actually getting late.
Well, I'll go on tomorrow night, and we can continue the discussion if you want to do that.
Because I'm actually working on a couple things I'll probably speak about too, and then we'll get into just doing an open discussion tomorrow, which will be awesome.
All right.
So everybody, if you're viewing this now, we're gonna have another live podcast tomorrow. Fred Candy's gonna be hosting it, so it's gonna be Fred Candy's show, and we're all gonna have some great conversations. Steve, you're welcome to come back. It'd be great to have you back.
All right. I sent the link for the show to people who want to watch it. I sent a link to Daniel. So if y'all want to get on the live show, just let Daniel know, and I'll take and send him a link, and he can put y'all on the live show too if y'all want to come on there.
Yeah. Yeah, because you could also share it directly right off your YouTube channel too, so it works that way as well.
Right.
So tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we'll have another open discussion, and we'll have a few topics we'll go over. And I mean, tomorrow we could probably run a little later because I won't. As far as I know, well, as of now, I don't know. It's unpredictable, but after tomorrow, I don't have to worry about getting up at 3:30. But that could change because I heard rumors that they might continue it throughout the week, which getting up early sucks, but the overtime's awesome. So, but
Well, thank you both for letting me join in with you.
Oh yeah, man, it was great, and definitely gonna have you on more. You're welcome to come on anytime because like I said, there's certain topics we discussed, and then we do live open chat. Anyone wants a question like they were doing today, which was awesome. Glenn Hurd and his family were asking some pretty awesome questions. If you guys have more questions, your questions are very welcome. And thank you, Beth, for asking your questions about the eye shine and everything. I know she wants to learn more, so keep on asking. It creates a great conversation and discussion. Yeah, Fred, Candy, you have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, just come on the show tomorrow night. I'm going out in the morning, for a little while, We got some people coming by. They had to put a new. We got people coming by. You know, who like we got a new furnace put in today. What they're doing is they're helping insulating the whole trailer and everything. So I'm gonna go out to about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Come on back. But I'm gonna do some videoing out there, and I got some video that I need to download and everything. So it's got some pretty nice.
Yeah.
I found a structure today at the apple orchard. It was one
Yeah.
tree standing up, two trees coming in, and one coming up this way, and it was all sewed. They was all sewed in a spot like that.
Wow.
I'll download it and I'll share it to you, or I'll just put it up and everything. But I got some video coming out tomorrow or tonight. I'll do it tonight and post them tonight and tomorrow and everything of the
Yeah,
what I'm finding.
I got video too, just from this past weekend. I have a couple of videos, but the one I want to try to get uploaded is the one that I investigated the area after the activity. I still have yet to go through my audio. I'll get that up as soon as possible too. I know, I mean, there's more to go on there, and I want to apologize to everybody for the technical difficulties that we had earlier on the show. But if you guys hang in there, staying tuned like you guys did, you guys are great hanging in there. I mean, the show worked out great, and hopefully we can go into some more. We're gonna keep doing these podcasts. We'll go into more great conversation discussions. And just for the one last time, I want to play the audio one last time. So if everyone wants to listen, I know I believe it was Glenn who said it sounded like it was who said it sounded like a whoop, but I don't know. Oh, hold on, I went to the wrong thing. Hold on. There it goes. Let me do it one more time. Hey, actually, if you guys could mute, hey, go ahead and mute yourself so I can play this again. Hold on. All right, hold on. I don't know. Did you guys hear that?
That's chattering.
Yeah, I have yet to go through my audio to pick up more because that picked up pretty clear.
That's two of them chattering.
Yeah.
Sounded like a guttural growl there at the end.
Yeah, because it sounded like it was like R, like that's what it sounded like, R. Like they're trying, like, to me it almost sounded like some kind of weird speaking though. It was like R, or it could have been. That's what I thought too at first, but I kept listening and it sounds weird.
Hey, Daniel.
Yeah.
I'm a Bigfoot whisperer. He's asking me, why are you in his woods?
Say that again.
Wait, say it again. Yeah, you kind of broke up saying that.
I said, I'm a Bigfoot whisperer. I said, he's asking you, why are you in his woods?
I'm his friend too. Yeah. Well, like I said, I have more audio to go through. I'm gonna upload my audio if I hear anything else off it, I'll definitely upload it to my SoundCloud. I have a few things on SoundCloud. I have Pack of Coyotes, I have Barred Owls, I have Tree Knocks, and I have 2 different howls on there. And if you listen to the one howl, I have them. One howl, if you listen to the very end of it, you'll hear a tree knock at the end. Like I said, the other howl is pretty mysterious, and it's all in one specific active area out here in my research area, which I call Ecbro Zone 1. And actually, that area is actually broke up into 2 different zones. Zone 1 is actually a wide area. Zone 2 is in the West Virginia side of it, which is all part of the George Washington National Forest, which is just south of all. Well, I know George Washington National Forest probably runs all up your way, don't it, Steve?
We have Silent Hill National, whatever it is up here.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm aware of.
Okay.
But, it's all connected.
Right. Yeah, it is.
It's all connected all the way through.
Hey, Steve.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
I use a Navajo word when I go in, and 80% of the time it works. It's called Ushka Yate. And I get a response to that. Do you know what that means?
My great
Yate.
Navajo, but if they respond to it, then evidently they know something about it.
Yeah, because I made a recording of some chattering I heard one day, and I sent it to a lady friend of mine out west in Colorado, and she said what they speak here in this area is ancient Cherokee dialect. So I've learned to. So I also go.
Dore Deshuwa.
Dode Tishu Dewa, Oshikwatsu. And I get whoops, I get tree knocks, and I'll get rock clacking to let me know that they're there.
It may have been you that said it, Fred. I believe that they understand Native American, but I believe they speak it at such a fast rate we can't actually hear what they're saying. They have a different dialect of it.
Yeah, there's a guy in the Navy. He took his son his class was learning about the language of Bigfoot. So this guy was in the Navy, and his job was to break the codes of the enemy. Well, on his computer, when he got home, his son said we need to learn. So he went to the Sierra sounds, and he got one of the sounds, and he slowed it down to about like 98%, and it was ancient Spanish, which was one Squatch talking to his grandson or son saying, "Son, this is a story from the heart." But they talk 98% so fast it sounds like chattering and everything. That's what I've learned about them around here.
I believe it. I believe they have a language. I believe they're highly intelligent. They have to be. They're the only creatures that need to stay away from us.
Well, the ones here, they'll take and follow me, but they're messing up. Now, see, I've learned a little trick to get them to give their location away, and I know where they're at all times now. What I'll do is I'll go in, and when I feel them following me, I hear them following me, I'll stop and I'll just look around. All right, they stop dead in their tracks. I'll start walking again. I'll take about 5 or 6, maybe 15 steps, and I'll stop in mid-step. They've got to take out one last step to get into position to watch you where you can't see them and they can see you. They just give their location away. So when I do it that way, I know exactly where they're at. I've learned that. Everybody asks me, how come you know so much about Bigfoot? I said, it's simple. The information is there in the woods. All you got to do is learn how to decipher it.
Exactly.
You got tree twists, you got tree bends, you got tree breaks, you got X's, you got directionals. And one thing I showed Daniel, and it's pretty wild. You got a stick that's about 2 foot tall, 3 foot tall, and you got a bunch of X's lined up stacked on top of it, but you got one stick that's the longest, pointing in one direction. I found 2 of them. I followed one to a birthing area. The other one I followed, it took me to a mountain spring in the ground that I didn't even know it was there, in the middle of the mountains. So they got different sides. When you see a tree that's bent over and tucked underneath a log, look at that and then look around. You'll start seeing trees that are bent going in one direction. They're directional signs, is what I've learned. Now they might be different areas, but in my particular area, it's a directional sign, which is pretty wild, though, you know.
Hey, Fred, I hate to interrupt, but we're well over time. We're actually been over 2.5 hours, and we're going to actually have to, break it off. We will pick it up tomorrow, and if you guys want to keep up with more podcasts, if you miss this one or miss any of them, if you want to stay along with them, feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channels. YouTube channel ECBRO98. Fred Candy's is Freddy59100. And also check out the website. It's www.ecbro.wordpress.com. And come and like us on Facebook. So thank you guys for watching. You guys are great and patient. And again, sorry for the interruption earlier. But it sounds like we got that taken care of. I'm glad Fred's got his voice back. Everyone have a what's that, Fred?
Steve, stay on after the show, okay?
Yeah.
I got to talk to you for a minute.
Okay. All right. Good night, everyone, and stay tuned and watch for upcoming podcasts.